The ending to the 2022 Xfinity Darlington race was eerie. Let me explain. This is a video that I normally don't do, but I was in the shower and I had a lot of shower thoughts, right? And the more I thought about it, the more crazy it got. So, obviously, Justin Allgaier won that race. Of course, he was in an Earnhardt paint scheme. Now, this is going to be a Earnhardt-related video. Now, first things first, I will be showing Earnhardt's death crash, so, kind of a heads up on that. Only reason I'm showing that is because it's not violent. It's just the car hitting the wall, and then that's that. But, of course, it's still, saddening because we all knew what took place afterwards. So, just a little heads up on that before we get started. So, again, Allgaier was in an Earnhardt Throwback, and he won the race. Cool, whatever. That's 2 Earnhardt Throwbacks in a row that he won in. Now, was it Jeremy Clements, I think is who it was running the 51, also in an Earnhardt paint scheme. The Wrangler Throwback, not the Wrangler branded, but it was, to a Wrangler paint scheme. On the last lap, he crashed. And it looked eerily similar to Earnhardt's crash. Now, of course, a lot of people saw that and was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. But, again, when I was in the shower, I kind of thought a little bit more about it, and I would like to point out some more details that was, again, it kind of creeped me out, I'm not going to lie. So, here is the video of how the crash happened, and then I will show you the side-by-side of Earnhardt's crash and then Clements' crash. So that right there was pretty weird, right? The way the car hit the wall, the way the car slid against the wall that entire time, the way it came down off of the track, it was just too similar and too creepy. So, the paint schemes of the Clements and whatever other car it was some black car, was pretty similar. Clements was in a blue and yellow car, and the car that wrecked with him was a black car. Now, of course, reverse this role with Earnhardt's crash. Earnhardt was the black car, and then, was it Schrader? Well, it may have been Schrader. I don't remember who was with Earnhardt with the crash, but he was in a yellow car. So, same, colors, just kind of flipped. That was also kind of eerie, so I was like, it's kind of weird, right? Now, something that really kind of struck me was the teams. Now, let me explain a little further here. It was Junior Motorsports finishing 1-2 in that Darlington race. Of course, Junior Motorsports is owned by Dale Earnhardt Jr., and in the Daytona 500 race, 2 DEI cars finished 1-2. Of course, Earnhardt owned DEI. So, yeah, like that's kind of trippy, right? It's just weird because Earnhardt owned DEI, and then, of course, Waltrip and Junior finished 1-2. And then in Darlington, Junior Motorsports, Junior owns the cars, or the team, and Allgaier, in the Earnhardt Throwback, wins that race, and Gragson comes in second. Again, of course, I hate to bring up, the passing of Dale, but at the same time, that was just really eerie. Like I saw all over, I even shared it on my Instagram, on my story. It was like, I mean, it was a messed up joke. I'm not gonna lie. It was, Clements is taking this throwback thing a little too far, of course, because he had that similar crash to what killed Earnhardt, which was, again, it was a dark joke, but, it's kind of my humor, so it was a good one. I'll give him that. Even though it was wrong, I'll give it to him. But I thought it was crazy because I was sitting there thinking about it. I was like, man, the paint schemes were even similar, just reversed. Junior owned the team. It was the Earnhardt's team that was 1-2 for both of those races. The crash was the same. The paint schemes were, again, kind of similar. Earnhardt Throwback won the race. Like, it was a little crazy. So I thought I would just kind of point that out. I don't know why, but I feel like I just had to say something about it. I knew people kind of recognized the crash, but I think people didn't really look a little too far into it, kind of like I did.